Hi, Chess College. How you doing? It's Friday. Your papers are due tonight by midnight. Actually, 11:59. Please don't be late. Hopefully your essays went smoothly as they possibly could for your first essay. I'm going to go over the essays in detail right now. I'm not going to talk about movies. This is boring essay speech, so I'll make it quick. Did you see my notes in pages? Please read those because I'm going to repeat them for those of you who haven't seen them in pages. So, Monday, we start in on the 1930s. More about that on Monday. It is 4 o'clock in the morning. This is how it rolls, folks. Okay, the essays. What you're looking to do, you're analyzing the content of these films I'm going to have you watch. The first one is The Kid, probably the first silent film you've ever seen all the way through. Hopefully, it wasn't too much torture for you. What to look for? Not retelling the story. That's not what your paper's about. I get it. I know what the story is. That doesn't mean anything unless you put some analysis behind it. What are the meanings that you saw? What did you pick up? Say the characters. What was the deal on Charlie Chaplin's character, who was nameless, by the way? They called him the little tramp. Um, what do you think he's all about? Why does this guy who's a con man, he goes around breaking people's windows on purpose and then he comes around to fix them. So he's a con man. He's living on the street. He's living pretty ragged and poor in the poor part of town. Why? Well, we don't know. They don't give the backstory. You have to fill that in. The filmmaker's not going to give you everything. Um, the rich lady celebrity abandons her child and he picks the child up. Why would he do that? That's going to be a lot of responsibility. Think about his reasoning why he's doing that. I'll throw some stuff out there. So if you listen to this, you can add it into your essay, even though it's due tonight. I don't want to give you guys all the answers that I'm looking for. And by the way, there's no right or wrong in these analytical essays. You can get it totally wrong. It's okay. I just want you to think. I just want you to think about what you're seeing. Okay. So why would a strange man, single, living in poverty, grab a child on the road? Nowadays, he'd be jailed for perversions or something, but this is a different era. And that's another thing you need to look at when you're watching the movie. Look at the era when the film was made, 1921. It's a long time ago, 100 years ago. What was going on in the world? We just came out of the war, World War One. It was the Roaring '20s. Liquor was illegal. Society was actually having a really good party time because people were still drinking booze like crazy. Once you make something illegal, that makes it even more desirable. Women were had the right to vote. They were cutting their hair. They're called flappers. Some of them. They're going to parties and dancing like men. They're smoking cigarettes. So there was the start of feminism. All this is going on. Poverty, the class systems. There's rich folks like the woman who abandons the kid, and there's people like the little tramp. And then there's the police who hassle people like the little tramp. They coddle the rich people. Does that sound familiar now, folks? Look what's going on now in the world. Do rich people, most of them are avoiding jail? They have nice lawyers. Poor people are in jail, folks. It's always been that way. Why? So, what is Chaplin trying to portray in this world? What's he giving you a slice of? He's giving you a slice of life from a very kind of lifeless existence, but he seems to be content and happy in that world he's living in. He's found his place. So you don't have to be rich or famous to actually find your place. He's got more heart than anybody. He takes a child that's not his, and he doesn't do anything perverted with it. He raises it the best he can as his own child. Then there's the child, the orphan child, played by Jackie Cooper, who was a brilliant child actor, who's abandoned by his mother and is picked up by this strange man, and they form this great bond. They're a good match. The kid is being well taken care of in this poverty situation, which tells you that some of the themes in the movie, rich against poor, love, unrequited love, um, how the privilege of wealth lets you away with a lot of stuff. Abandonment is a huge theme in this thing. Everybody gets abandoned in it until they find each other, and there's the silver lining. So those are some of the themes. Look at their characters, why they do what they're doing. You don't have to know the answers, just look at it, come up with your own reason. Why did she abandon her child? Well, it was in the way. She's not a horrible person. She's just a misguided person. Look at the other performers besides the little tramp, the child. Look at the woman, the cops that hassle him, the orphanage people that come to grab the kid. Society is out to put that child in an orphanage, and he's trying to prevent it. He's doing the right thing. Society thinks they're doing the right thing. You can write about that. Look at the movement of the people, the direction was Charlie Chaplin directed. That means everything that's in front of that lens, he made happen. You don't just stand in front of the lens and deliver lines. Of course, there's no lines to deliver, although people do talk. They just have subtitles. But they're not just standing there. They're set up in a scene. He directs them where to stand, where the camera should be. He frames it, and it's all for a reason. Now that's early cinema, so it's pretty simplistic. Not like all the complicated digital computer junk we have now, which is overkill. People think that's art, but it's overkill. You could do anything with a computer. You could put the camera on the space shuttle and shoot it out to Mars and get a shot of an apartment building in New York. It's all fake. It's not real. That's why so many current movies are hard to relate to. Do you really relate to the Hulk? I mean, actually relate to it? You want to punch somebody into the next block? That would kill them, by the way. So the Hulk, who can't control himself, essentially smashes people into pieces. Hopefully, they're the bad guys. They deserve it. But the Hulk can't always control it because he gets mad and he gets all hulked up and he gets upset. I wouldn't want the Hulk getting upset in a bar. No. He'll not only slug everybody into 100 yards down the street, but he'll destroy the building. And we admire that. That's a good thing. Okay, so that's getting off topic. So look at the kid. Look at the performers. Look at what the camera is doing. Look at the script. That's all written. Yes, there's no dialogue, but scripts are made up of all the elements of the story. What the little tramp does, where he goes, how he walks, how he moves, how he's eating, how he's taking care of the kid, how he's throwing the rocks in the windows, how he's dealing with the public out there in the world that is against him, essentially. That's all written in a script. All movies start with a written word, scripts, screenplays. It's pretty simple filmmaking in those days. The dream sequence, it gets a little surreal. Everybody's an angel. Are they dead? What's going on here? It's a dream. It's not supposed to make total sense. Don't you have dreams? Do they all make total sense? No, they don't. And so it's Charlie Chaplin's idea of a dream and what may have happened. Um, so he throws in a fantasy sequence right into the middle of this realistic drama with some comedy thrown in. This grim story about these two lost souls who have found each other. They have found their own way of making a family, and that's another theme. They're seeking family, they're seeking place. Perhaps we all are. So, those are the things you need to be writing about, not whether you like it or you dislike it or you didn't get it or it's silent and it's black and white. We know all that. That doesn't need to be said. We get it. What needs to be said is this other stuff, and that's what needs to be explored. Now, the thing is if you want, you can explore one or two of these elements. You don't have to explore every element I'm asking you to explore. Take two elements, themes, character. That's enough. That's a 3-page paper easily. You can throw in more stuff like that. But also, an important thing to these papers is the page count. I've said this, I've said it a million times. You need 3 pages. I've already had several pages, people pen in pages that aren't 3 pages. You will lose points. It's a discipline to write these papers into the amount, a certain page count. 3 to 5 is a good amount. You have plenty of time. I don't give you these assignments and it's not due the next day. You have essentially 5 or 6 days to do it. I give you a heads up about the movie. You have plenty of time to watch that and plenty of time to write the paper, read it out loud. That's a good way to proofread it, by the way. Have someone read it out loud to you. Now, someone, and this is fine for me, one of the students sent me their essay early and wanted my comments so they can make improvements. You could do that. Send it to me early. I'll get it back to you as fast as I can with my suggestions. It's up to you if you want to do the suggestions. That's fine. Um, but really proofread carefully out loud. I've seen misspellings that shouldn't be there. Now with all the spell check, I don't mark down on that. I'm looking at content, and that's key to these papers. It's what you're thinking, the wheels of this machine up here. This is an awesome machine. Better than the Hulk's muscles. You know why? Because you can outsmart the Hulk. He's just a big brute. Now they got She-Hulk. Oh boy. Whatever. Um, we will have a whole section as the class goes on this generation's obsession with the Marvel comic world, DC comic world, the comic world. Why are we living in the comic world in these desperate times when we've got wars in Ukraine, we got horrible politicians in the White House, we've got people attacking the White House. These are tough times in America. That leads you to believe that's why these movies. The movies always reflect the culture. And the culture is reflected back into these movies. They don't exist in a vacuum. They're not mutually exclusive. They form a bond. That's all I have to say. Enjoy your weekend. It's not as hot. Papers due in less than a couple hours. Get it done and then take a break. Go take a walk, take a bike ride, take a walk with your dog, with somebody you like, somebody you sort of like, and don't get too effed up and drunk because it's the weekend, because that's dangerous. Take care of yourself, hydrate, and keep thinking. Don't ever stop, because knowledge is power. When people want you to stop and be dumb, that's because they want power over you. Well, don't let that happen. See you on Monday.